Let's be honest, if she's constantly living in your thoughts, but her name never shows up on your screen, you're not the only one caught in that loop. Because right now, you're trapped in one of the most silent prisons a man can build for himself. You've handed her a piece of your mental real estate, while she's out there living freely, untouched, unbothered, and unaware of the storm inside your mind. Here's the cruel irony. The more space she takes in your thoughts, the less space you occupy in hers. The more you chase her in your imagination, the further she drifts in reality. But don't worry, I'm going to walk you through why this happens, what it really means, and, most importantly, how you can finally break free from it. Because once you see the truth, you'll stop being the man who waits, and you'll become the man who decides. This isn't about tricks, games, or playing hard to get. It's about understanding the raw psychology of attraction and attention, at a level that flips the entire dynamic on its head. By the end of this, you'll know exactly why she never calls, what her silence is actually saying, and the precise steps to reclaim your power. So, let's pull the curtain back and face the uncomfortable truth, the one most men never dare to confront. You wake up, and before your feet even hit the floor, her name flashes in your mind. You grab your phone, swipe through notifications, hoping for one message, nothing. You go through your day, pretending you're fine, but she's always there, hovering quietly in the background of your thoughts. You see a funny meme and think, she'd laugh at this. You hear a song and remember that one night, that one smile, that one look she gave you. Meanwhile, she's out with her friends, laughing over brunch, posting stories, texting other people, and your name? It doesn't even flicker across her mind. You start making excuses for her silence. Maybe she's just busy. Maybe she's testing me. Maybe she's scared of how she feels. But here's the truth that cuts deep. She's not calling because she doesn't need to. In her mind, you're already handled. You're the known variable, the safe option. She knows exactly where you stand, exactly how much you care, and exactly how fast you'd pick up if she called. And that's precisely why she doesn't. Human psychology runs on a brutally simple rule. We chase what moves away from us, and we ignore what stays still. Right now, you've made yourself too easy to reach, too predictable. There's no tension, no curiosity, no space for her to miss you. You've become emotionally stationary, a parked car. Safe, stable, but uninspiring. She doesn't call because she doesn't have to. Your attention is guaranteed. Your thoughts are guaranteed. Your presence, your availability, they're all guaranteed. And what's guaranteed loses its value. Think about it. We crave what's rare, not what's always there. Scarcity drives desire, but abundance? It breeds indifference. You've made yourself abundant in her world, without her lifting a finger. She never had to earn your attention, your energy, or your loyalty, and that's why she feels nothing missing. No pull, no void, no urge to reach out. But here's where everything begins to shift. Because once you understand why this dynamic exists, you'll finally see how to reverse it. So let's take a closer look into the real reason she never reaches out. So now you understand, her silence doesn't just happen. It means one thing. You're not on her mind. And until you change that dynamic, you never will be. Maybe you're asking yourself, so what do I do? How do I fix this? That's exactly where we're heading next. Because before you can rebuild connection, you need to decode what her silence is actually saying. But first, if this message is hitting somewhere deep, if it feels a little too real, hit that like button. What's coming next will shift your entire perspective. Let's break it down. When a woman never initiates contact, it's not a mystery to solve. It's not a mind game. And it's not a secret test. It's a statement. She's communicating clearly, without words, that the current setup works perfectly fine for her. She gets your attention whenever she wants it. She gets validation whenever she needs a boost. She gets entertainment when she's bored. But what doesn't she give? Investment, effort, curiosity. She's not chasing you. She's not wondering what you're doing. She's not missing you, because she doesn't have to. Why? Because you've stripped away every trace of mystery. You respond too fast. You're always available. You start every conversation. You double text when she goes quiet. You explain yourself when there's silence. You rearrange your schedule around hers, as if her time matters more than yours. And in doing all of that, you've accidentally sent a silent but powerful message. My time is less valuable than yours. My attention is cheaper than yours. I need you more than you need me. Once that dynamic is set in place, reversing it becomes almost impossible, unless you perform a total reset. Here's what most men never understand. Attraction isn't built on certainty, it's built on uncertainty. When she knows exactly how you feel, when she knows you'll always answer, when she knows there's zero competition for your attention, her brain relaxes. There's no rush of dopamine, no excitement, no anticipation. You become comfortable, predictable, safe, and comfortable is the death of attraction. So what does her silence really mean? It means she's comfortable not hearing from you. It means your presence doesn't trigger any emotion anymore. It means she's mentally placed you in the safe and settled box, and in the world of attraction. Safe never wins. Now here's where the shift begins. If you want her to start thinking about you again, if you want her to reach out, you need to become unreachable in a way that makes her question everything. How do you change the dynamic? Here's the first move, and it demands more discipline than most men are willing to have. You vanish from her radar, not out of anger, not to play games, but simply to withdraw your presence from her daily experience. Stop initiating. Stop liking her posts. Stop viewing her stories. Stop being the first to check in. Stop filling the silence she creates. Create a complete absence. Why does this work? Because humans are wired to notice what disappears, not what stays. When your name stops popping up in her notifications, when your reactions stop feeding her ego, when your texts stop lighting up her screen, something subtle but powerful starts happening in her mind. She notices the void. At first, she might not even care. She might not consciously notice it. But over time, that absence begins to whisper in her mind. Wait, where did he go? Why hasn't he said anything? Is he okay? Is he talking to someone else? And that's when curiosity starts to grow. But here's the crucial part most men get wrong. Your absence can't be empty. You can't disappear and then sit at home refreshing her social media, hoping she notices. That's not mystery, that's hiding. Instead, you have to build something real. Get in the best shape of your life. Start new hobbies. Reconnect with old friends. Travel. Create experiences. Share moments that reflect growth, adventure, and fulfillment. Then, one day, when she checks your profile and finds no trace of you missing her, no sad posts, no cryptic quotes, just a man who's out there living fully, that's when the tables turn. She'll think, he's totally fine without me. Actually, he's even better. And that realization is magnetic. Add social proof into the mix. Be seen with other people, especially women, not to fake jealousy, but because you're actually living a full life. Authenticity is what makes it powerful. Then comes the strategic reappearance. Don't come back after 3 days. Don't reply the moment she finally texts. Wait at least 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how often you used to talk. And when you do return, come back as a stronger version of yourself, more confident, more grounded, more emotionally independent. No explanations, no apologies, no excuses like, I've been busy. Just calm, steady energy that quietly says, I've been living well. That's when she starts calling again, not because you played a game, but because you've genuinely become someone worth reaching out to. Now here's the deeper truth. This isn't just about getting her to call. It's about breaking the mental obsession that's been draining your energy. Because if you're constantly thinking about someone who never thinks about you, you're not in attraction. You're in fantasy, and fantasy keeps you stuck. But when you pull back, when you reclaim your attention, and redirect that energy into yourself, something powerful begins to shift. You stop needing her validation. You stop checking your phone every 5 minutes. You stop crafting the perfect text. You stop living in hope. And ironically, that's when you become the most attractive. Not because you're playing hard to get, but because you genuinely don't need her anymore. And women can sense that shift instantly. Yes, she might start calling. She might start texting. She might start wondering, what changed? But by that time, you've changed so much that whether she calls or not no longer matters. That's the real win. If this message hit differently, drop a comment with the word freedom so I know you're ready to take back control, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Because there's a lot more powerful stuff coming your way.